Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You've probably seen 100 must-watch anime lists, and they all recommend the same stuff. Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. Great shows, sure, but you've already seen them. Everyone has. So today, we're going underground. These are 10 anime that flew completely under the radar. Short enough to finish in a single sitting, addictive enough that you literally won't be able to stop, and satisfying enough that you won't feel empty inside when the credits roll. No filler, no read the manga cliffhangers. Just pure, concentrated storytelling that'll have you calling in sick tomorrow. Let's get into it. Number 10. My Home Hero. Alright, imagine Breaking Bad, but instead of a chemistry teacher cooking meth, it's a 47-year-old Japanese salaryman who just murdered his daughter's abusive Yakuza boyfriend. With his bare hands. And now he has to dispose of the body while the entire criminal underworld is looking for their missing guy. Yeah, it gets intense. This show is pure anxiety in anime form. Every single episode ends with the main character, Tetsuo, backed into an impossible corner. He's not strong, he's not special. His only skill is that he reads a lot of mystery novels. And somehow he has to outsmart professional killers using like crime fiction tropes and sheer desperation. The animation's a bit modest, I won't lie, but the writing? Unputdownable. 12 episodes of a middle-aged dad white-knuckling his way through a nightmare. It's stressful in the best way possible. Number 9. Link Click. Okay, technically this one's Chinese animation, a donghua, but hear me out. If you skip this because it's not Japanese, you're missing one of the best time travel thrillers in recent years. Period. The setup is simple. Two guys run a photo studio. One of them can dive into photographs and possess the person who took them for 12 hours. The other guides him from the present. They use this power to fix people's regrets, reconnecting with dying parents, exposing corrupt bosses, finding missing kids. Sounds wholesome, right? Then a serial killer subplot starts creeping in from the background. And by the season finale, this show goes from emotional to absolutely terrifying. The cliffhangers in this thing are criminal, like actually illegal levels of suspense. Season 1 is 11 episodes, wraps up its arc, and you will immediately start Season 2. No question. Number 8. 91 Days. This one's for everyone who's ever wanted an anime that feels like a classic mafia movie. Godfather vibes. Prohibition-era America. Suits, Tommy guns, and revenge served colder than a Chicago winter. The story follows Angelo, a guy who watched his entire family get murdered by the Venetti Mafia when he was a kid. Years later, he gets a letter naming the killers. So what does he do? He changes his name, infiltrates the family, and befriends the Don's son, just to destroy them all from the inside. Here's what makes it addictive though. You know Angelo is going to betray Nero eventually, but as the two of them bond, road trips, shootouts, genuinely good moments, you start dreading it. The dramatic irony is devastating. The ending is ambiguous, poignant, and hits like a truck. 12 episodes. No magic powers, no anime tropes, just pure, grounded tragedy. It's what happens when anime decides to be an HBO prestige drama. Number 7. Akudama Drive. Okay, if the last two were slow burn thrillers, this one is pure adrenaline injected directly into your eyeballs. Cyberpunk Osaka. Neon everywhere. A crew of S-ranked supercriminals with names like Cutthroat, Brawler, and Hacker. And one ordinary girl who accidentally gets mistaken for a master con artist called Swindler, and has to fake her way through a massive heist. Or die. This show was written by the Danganronpa guy, and you can tell. It's stylish, violent, unpredictable, and operates entirely on the rule of cool. Motorcycles drive up skyscrapers. Characters survive things they absolutely should not survive. The color palette alone could give you sensory overload. 12 episodes of pure chaos. Perfect for when you don't want to think too hard. You just want to be entertained at maximum volume. By the way, if you're vibing with this list so far, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel, and it takes like half a second. Alright, moving on. Number 6. ID Invaded. Picture this. There's a machine that lets detectives dive into the subconscious mind of serial killers. Each mind is a surreal, dreamlike world with its own twisted logic. One might be fragmented into floating pieces. Another might be stuck in a perpetual lightning storm. And the detective has to solve crimes by decoding the killer's psyche. Oh, and there's a catch. To use this machine, you have to have killed someone yourself. The main character is a former cop who murdered the man that killed his daughter. Now he's a prisoner, forced to dive into the minds of monsters because, well, it takes one to know one. This show is Inception meets Minority Report, and it does not hold your hand. The puzzles are fair but complex. The visuals are trippy, and there's an overarching mystery about a killer called John Walker that ties everything together beautifully. If you like smart sci-fi that respects your intelligence, this is one of the most underrated gems out there. 13 episodes of pure brain candy. Number 5. Vivy, Fluorite Eyes Song. Made by the same guy who wrote ReZero, animated by the studio behind Attack on Titan's best seasons, this one's a banger. Vivy is the first autonomous AI ever created. Her mission? Make people happy with her singing. She performs in a theme park to empty crowds, day after day. Then one day, an AI from 100 years in the future shows up, as a talking teddy bear, and tells her that in a century, artificial intelligence is going to wipe out humanity, and she's the only one who can stop it by changing key historical events over the next 100 years. So begins an epic that spans a century in just 13 episodes. We watch Vivy evolve from a naive idol into a weary, combat-hardened veteran. The action sequences are gorgeous, Wit Studio at their absolute peak, and the emotional payoff at the end is chef's kiss. Complete story, no sequel bait, just a beautifully crafted sci-fi tragedy about what it means to have a soul. Alright, real quick, we're halfway through and I'm genuinely curious. Which of these are you adding to your watch list? Drop a comment and let me know. I read all of them. Seriously. Number 4. Kanata no Astra, or in English, Astra Lost in Space. This one is basically Among Us before Among Us existed. Group of students goes on a space camping trip in the year 2063. A mysterious orb of light appears and sucks them 5,000 light years away from Earth. They find an abandoned spaceship and have to hop from planet to survive and make their way home. Fun setup, right? Here's the twist. That orb wasn't an accident. It was an assassination attempt. One of the students on board is a traitor who's supposed to make sure none of them make it back alive. 12 episodes. Zero filler. Each episode covers one planet or one major revelation, and the who's the traitor mystery keeps you guessing until the very end. But it's the second layer, the conspiracy about Earth itself, that elevates this from a fun adventure to a must-watch. The foreshadowing is insane. On a rewatch, you catch stuff from episode 1 that points directly to the finale. And the ending? One of the most conclusive, satisfying finales in anime history. If you like mystery boxes that actually pay off, this is it. Number 3. Pluto. Alright, we're getting into prestige territory now. Pluto is 8 one-hour episodes, essentially 8 movies. It's adapted from a manga by Naoki Urasawa, who's basically the Cormac McCarthy of manga. And it's a reimagining of an Astro Boy story, except instead of a cute robot kid saving the day, it's a weary robot detective investigating a string of brutal murders targeting the world's most advanced AIs. This show is Blade Runner meets True Detective. It's slow, atmospheric, and deeply philosophical. It asks questions about hatred, trauma, war, and whether machines can have souls. The art style is cinematic, no huge anime eyes or exaggerated expressions, just grounded, realistic emotion. If you want excellent anime without teenagers saving the world, without power-ups, without any of the usual tropes, Pluto is what you're looking for. It's heavy, it's tragic, and finishing it in one sitting will leave you emotionally devastated in the best way. Number 2. Odd Taxi. This is, hands down, the most deceptive anime of the last decade. You look at it and see cute animals, a walrus taxi driver, a gorilla doctor, cat idols. Looks like a children's show, right? Wrong. Underneath that fuzzy exterior is a gritty neo-noir set in modern Tokyo. A girl has gone missing, and somehow, everyone is connected. The taxi driver with insomnia, a nurse stealing drugs, a failing comedy duo, a guy addicted to gacha games, a Yakuza baboon. The writing in this show is ridiculous. Characters have naturalistic conversations where they mumble, talk over each other, and say things that seem meaningless. Until 10 episodes later, when a throwaway comment about an eraser becomes evidence in a murder case. The mystery is so intricate that you genuinely cannot stop watching. You need to keep the web of connections fresh in your head. And the ending? It explains everything, including why the world looks the way it does. That cute animal aesthetic isn't a gimmick, it's a plot point. 13 episodes, one of the smartest anime ever made. If you want something that respects your intelligence, this is the gold standard. And number 1, Summertime Rendering. This is it. The ultimate hidden gem. The one that should have been massive but got completely buried. The setup is deceptively simple. A guy named Shinpei returns to his small island hometown for his childhood friend's funeral. She drowned. Tragic, but normal. Then he finds out she didn't drown accidentally, and the island is infested with shadows, Lovecraftian doppelgangers that can copy and replace humans. Also, he can time loop. But here's the sick part. Every time he dies and resets, the save point moves forward. He gets less time. So he can't just brute force his way through trial and error. If he runs out of runway, it's game over. Permanently. 25 episodes of non-stop tension. There is no downtime, no filler, no beach episodes. Just a guy desperately gathering information, forming alliances, and trying to outmaneuver an enemy that is learning from his every attempt. The cliffhangers in this show are sadistic. Episodes end with reveals that completely recontextualize everything you just watched. A trusted ally was a shadow. A plan you spent 20 minutes watching them build has already been countered. You cannot stop. Your brain literally won't let you. So why haven't you heard of it? Simple. Disney Plus bought the exclusive license and then did absolutely nothing to promote it. No social media push, no hype. It just existed in obscurity while lesser shows went viral. But trust me on this one. Summertime Rendering is a masterpiece. Start it on a Friday night. Cancel your Saturday plans. You'll need them. If this video helped you find your next obsession, smash that subscribe button. I drop lists like this regularly, and I don't want you missing out. Speaking of which, if you're looking for what's coming next, check out my video on the top 10 most anticipated anime of winter 2026. Some absolutely insane stuff on the horizon, and you'll want to be ready. I'll see you in the next one.